Hello everyone. This is a video response for Thomas, the 13th Wolfman. He got on here and asked anybody that has had drive-in movie experiences during the 70s and the 80s to share them with everyone else. I believe it was Mr. Creepshow08 that had been in contact with him and had been discussing or wanted to know some of his experiences. Now he's passed it on to us. Horror Show 3000 has shared his experiences with drive-in movies and just the drive-in itself. So, and I know 13th Wolfman has asked a couple others. I mean, he's made a request, of like Mr. Ramon 420, Spalding 69. I can't remember who else, but anyways, I decided that, you know what, I need to do this. I definitely had a wonderful time growing up during the 70s and the 80s and spending a lot of it at the drive-in theater. These are just some of the movies that I had seen at the drive-in theater during that time period. These ones that I picked were all seen at the Mustang Drive-In that was off of Soledad Canyon Road. It ended up shutting down, and the very last movie that I saw there was this, The Hitcher. Yeah, the Mustang Drive-In was just awesome. It's where I saw that one, this is the movie Phantasm. I had picked for my 30 Days of Horror Challenge, the 30th day, as my all-time favorite. Discuss how my mother took two young boys, myself and the neighbor child, out to go see Phantasm. It was a double feature. I can't remember, even because I had so much enjoyment with Phantasm, I don't even remember what it was. But the drive-ins were just wonderful. I mean, you could get in for a couple dollars. You pay per head of person. So if you got 4 people, you drive in, $2 per person. It's $8 to see 2 movies. I mean, you can't go wrong. And you also have the comfort of your own place. What I mean is, your vehicle or whatever. And I remember, God, here, first let me go on about the differences. You got the walk-ins. I mean, it's irritating because you go into an enclosed space and you got to sit next to strangers or whatever. I mean, right next to share these little tiny thin armrests. Most of the time you got people talking, interrupting, and people moving around, getting up to go to the bathroom, whatever. That's something that it irritates me, and it irritates many of you, that you have to put up with when you pay $7, $8, $9, or however much to go in to see one movie. Well, at the drive-in theater, this behavior is perfectly acceptable and is almost like encouraged, because you're having so much fun. You're interacting with the people in other vehicles. You go there, people walk by. It doesn't bother you that they walk past your vehicle or anything like that. My wife and I, when we first started dating, we would put in the back of our truck, we put down a full-size mattress, put a comforter in there, pillows lined up all along the back. We'd have our bucket of goodies, whatever we're going to eat. We'd have our cooler full of drinks. We take our dogs and kick back and watch the movie. It was wonderful. At the drive-in theaters, this one, the Mustang drive-in, where I saw all these movies, I'll even start showing some other movies from the other drive-in that I visited. We had these interesting little speakers that you attach to your window. This is what they look like. So you would take that speaker, hook it to your window, or put it on your chair or whatever that you happen to have, and then you would control the volume there. And you'd listen to the movie through this speaker device that was attached to these poles. Well, I mean, the beauty of going to a drive-in, we'd sit there, and this is what we would do, when I was a real little kid in elementary school, during the 70s. We would go, and my parents would take us to the drive-in, and they'd sit lounge chairs, okay? One on either side, and they'd take blankets and pillows and sleeping bags and everything, and put this big, huge area that we could sit right behind the car, right in front of the car. And they laid in between the lounge chairs, and us kids would sit there and play while the movie was going. And then my dad and my mom would take the speakers and hook them up, to the chairs right there, so we could all listen. And this was at the Mustang. Another thing that was cool was that right underneath the big, huge screen, the outdoor screen, is a play area. I mean, it had, swings, monkey bars, everything, so we had a place to even go and play. We could play while the movie was going on, and no one gave a crap. And it was encouraged. People would come by, talk to you, you'd meet people, it was great. It was a communal experience. And then I remember also at the Mustang we had this one guy. I ended up meeting him later on. We became friends, but I'll never forget this. He pulls up in a bus full of people, okay, and then he became a regular staple. It's like every Friday he was there to watch whatever movie. Anyways, he would pull up in a bus, and I'm not talking a regular tour bus or one of them little handicap buses or anything like that you see now. No, we're talking one of the old school buses. He'd converted this thing. It had a fireplace in it, a couch, and a bed. I mean, this was his home. And I remember he'd pull up into the way back of the drive-in theater, hook up massive speakers, because no one out went to the full back, and hook up the speakers and everything like that to his bus, blast them, and then his buddies would sit on top of the bus and around the bus, and they'd watch the movie. So he'd go in with, 10, 15 people, even more sometimes. He had 25 at one point. That's $2 a pop. I mean, you try 25 people now, oh my God, going into a movie. These prices, it's ridiculous, but that's the type of stuff. It was just awesome. And I remember even going later on, before we had the truck, my wife and I, when we go in the little hatchbacks, and we pop open the back of the truck, back of the hatchback, and watch the movie. So there you are, laying down just in case it rained or anything. Whereas in the truck it wouldn't. But then in California, it didn't rain that much in the summer, so you didn't have to worry about it. But during the winter, it was mostly rainy season. But we still go to the movies, so we take the hatchback and just sit back there and pop open the back and watch the movie from that. And and once again, we take our dogs. All this was encouraged. All of this was just a wonderful experience. So, anyways, these movies were from, I actually saw at the Mustang Drive-In on Soledad Canyon Road. We got, if we get them up here, we have The Howling. Never forget that, seeing werewolf transformation for the first time and have it on a big, huge screen. The Shining, The Keep. This is the 2-disc edition of the Boogeyman, with Boogeyman Return of the Boogeyman, but I actually only saw the original version, the 1980 version of Boogeyman there. Extra, Nothing Like a Full Man Born, on the big screen there. Amityville Horror, which freaked me out. Friday the 13th, Part 2. I did not see Part 1 there, but I did see Part 2. Westworld, love that. I could see Halloween, Exorcist, Linda Blair, head spinning around in all her glory and people freaking out. The Poltergeist, which was wonderful. And one that was, I got to share this with you. It's not a horror movie, but just because of how it took place and it happened. And unfortunately, many of you never will get to experience this. This was at the Winnetka Drive-In. I went to this one later, and it's one of my first movies I got to see at the Winnetka Drive-In. I was in high school. It was Fright Night. Yeah, I went there with my girlfriend. Got to see Tremors with my wife later on as a double feature. Much later, playing again. I got to see The Fly with David Cronenberg's The Fly with, oh God, why can't I think of his name? Yeah, Jeff Goldblum and Gina Davis. Love this. I got to see The Gate. Yeah, I thought that was great fun. Me and a bunch of my friends, we went down there and saw that. We also got to watch Nightbreed when it came out. That was cool. And then the first, I saw this at Winnetka. I remember it kind of took me back because all of a sudden, this one, which I thought they advertised Evil Dead 2, was right after Evil Dead, right? Well, I didn't realize it was a remake, actually, of Evil Dead. But I got to see Evil Dead 2 there. But the one that I thought was the best, and this is going back to that communal experience, okay? The fun of it being at a drive-in theater. You can't do this in a walk-in anymore. And that would be for this movie, Twister. Wait a minute. Why am I showing Twister, and I'm talking about drive-ins and horror movies at drive-ins? Well, here's what happened. I remember we went, it's a bunch of my friends and everybody. And you know that scene? Come on, you guys have all seen it, right? The scene where they're at the drive-in theater and all of a sudden the tornado comes in and destroys everything. That was shown while I was at the drive-in. Winnetka Drive-In, we watched this Twister come down and destroy a drive-in theater at a drive-in that we were watching it at. Oh my God. It was so incredibly fantastic. I mean, everyone was honking their horns, going crazy, laughing, having a great time. And it was encouraged because I remember they even stopped the film and rewound it just for a moment, just so we could see the destruction again. Why? Because everybody was cheering for it. They were yelling, encore, encore. You don't get that. You miss out. So, and it's sad. It's really sad that we don't have this. And many of you will never get to experience things like that. I mean, there's some drive-in theaters all over the place right now. But, I haven't been to one. I need to find one closer to me that I can take my boys to have them experience. And hopefully they will allow us to take dogs and to do what we used to do. Because you know what? That was the wondrous time. That was magical. To be able to watch a movie. And the thing is, you think, okay, well, you go to a walk-in, you go in there and people are making all kinds of noise and going crazy, and it irritates you. It takes away from the movie. But in a drive-in, you know what? I'll be honest with you. I've seen all these movies first at a drive-in. All these. And you know what? I've seen them in walk-ins too. But I'll tell you the truth. I had a better experience, a more fulfilling experience, seeing each and every one of these wonderful films at the drive-in. More fondness and everything. And did I miss anything? No. Was anything taken away? No. It was actually added. So I feel sad that, those days are kind of going away, and I feel really sad for those that will not get to or have not experienced drive-in theater culture. Thank you so much, 13th Wolfman, for offering up this subject that I love and have such a passion for. Horror Show 3000, thank you for actually doing your response, because you're the one that I watched first. And Mr. Creep Show, I believe that's your name. Thank you for posing the question to the 13th Wolfman. I hope everyone's enjoyed this. I know I have, just with the memories returning. So everyone, take care, and I'll catch you later.